Get on your feet, stand up. Let's welcome my uncle, Uncle G, George Teague. Welcome, Uncle G. How you feeling this morning, this evening? I'm sorry.
Hey, man, it's all good. I'm actually trying to figure out how you got all that bass up in here, man. I'm rocking over here my headphones, man. I'm bobbing like a bug over here, man. I'm like, I got to get some of these cuts, man. What's up?
Listen, man. Look, I'm excited. I can't tell everybody enough. This is huge for me. Introduce yourself to the people, Unc.
Yes, appreciate it, man. Hey, man, as he said, I did play for the University of Alabama in 1989 and 92. Won a national championship, went on to go play the National Football League 9 years. Absolutely had a blast. Ups and downs. Retired as a Dallas Cowboy, though. Current athletic director now at John Paul II High School in Plano, Texas. That's where I'm at. Now I'm a podcaster as well, so I ain't quite got it like Smook just yet, like Coach. But you know, Teague's Take, we do it on Wednesday nights, me and my son. So it's pretty cool, man. Be able to do the NFL analyst work. I do a lot of stuff with the Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Still, I do a pregame show with them on CBS, and then a postgame show the next day on Mondays on Valley Sports and DallasCowboys.com. So y'all can find me there as well. Just branching out, man, doing this thing. Love talking football, like you said, man. It's in my blood, bro. It's in my blood.
Listen, I already know, and I tell people this quick story. Our last interaction in person was A-Day. I got to see you going in before the flag football game. Looked like you had been stretching a few days ahead.
You see me tote that one for 42. I think that touchdown for
42. I said, shut it down after that. Touch with you. And now we're here. And I'm ready to dive into this roster. Tonight, we just going to do a roster review, man. We're not going to get crazy. We might talk a little scheme or something. But I just want to, you were at the A-Day game. And before we dive into just breaking down different position groups, different players, give me your overall assessment on both sides of the ball. You can start on defense or offense. You pick the side. You take it away, just your overall assessment of what you see.
My take is really that I think the offense looked dynamic and advanced, if that's a word I can say. I'm saying looked a little more complex, even though it might not have necessarily been. It was just something different that you said. But then that, being a defensive guy, it bothered me a little bit because they were having a success against our defense. So I had to look at that in a realistic way. So from the defensive side, I think there's a lot of positives, but I wasn't happy with the way we tackled. That ain't got nothing to do with scheme or anything. We're just letting guys run through us. I couldn't get with that part,
right?
You know, as a whole. So I walked out of there feeling like, man, we got a good chance. We're gonna sneak up on some people still, just because they didn't. And this is before we got any of the other transfers.
I wouldn't even say advanced. It just looks more attractive. You get what I'm saying? That's what I would say. It looked a lot more attractive, being that you saw pre-snap motion on just about every snap. You saw a lot of shifts. You saw like basic concepts in the passing game and run scheme, but you saw the shifts. You saw what the pre-snap eye dressing that they want to implement, because that's literally the name of the game right now on the offensive side. You want to move and shift to create mismatches, see how quick you identify mismatches before the defense makes their adjustments, and that's how most offenses, well, the successful ones, are attacking. So Kalen DeBoer and that staff, they have a good gauge on that, in my opinion. And like Kane Womack said, they didn't dial up anything. They were really working. You seen that they were dialing up the defensive front, the 4-man stunts, but nothing on the second level. A lot of
what people got to be excited about is going into a little bit more of what you said, of basically saying there's a whole lot of vanilla stuff, right? We're saying keep it simple when you're in a spring game. You put in a new offense, you got a new coaching staff. You can't dial up a whole lot of stuff on defense. So all the runs won't happen like that against our defense during the regular season. But the extra positive I got on the offensive side when I use that word vanilla is that if this was vanilla, we're right. way ahead. I know we don't want to talk about a whole lot of specifics, but there's one thing that he kept running. It was a quad set.
Yeah.
with an overload. So they had like 5 people on one side. I'm going like, this is, something that you're putting in right away, and that is confusing to any defenses. So Kellen DeBoer did a good job because he know everybody's watching on TV, every team in SEC and around the country going, man, what are we going to have to deal with? And you put something in there like that, and you only been there a few months.
Not even a few months. 15
yeah.
practices of this.
Yeah. If this is vanilla and simple, with all the shifts, they move it back, move the tight end over, send the receiver in motion, and then another one coming. We got jet sweep coming, and then they, counter off of it later. Even when you see it on paper, like what we were doing, we were drawing it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
Video game.
If they get him to really take on this pre-snap read stuff and add the running game, there's a lot of things that tease in there that we were breaking down the film going, okay, was this a read option? Was he able to pull this thing if he wanted to? Because it would be extremely nasty with the way he was throwing the ball. He didn't throw the ball a whole lot, but all them throws that he had, they were on the money. He was dropping dimes, that big deep over, or the one I'm talking about.
Right,
on. He went up for about 50. Man, golly, man, it was really good. But there were so many things that came off of that could have happened, as well. And that's going to cause some problems. So if Jalen Milroe is, on point, as you said, getting pre-snap reads, getting the ball out quick, but then still being able to utilize, hey, we forgot that he can still run the ball.
Run it.
We ain't got to wait. We ain't got to wait, man.
Let's jump into it. Listen, let's break it down. I want to jump to the secondary. You the secondary specialist. That's your area of the field. Let's jump into it because that's been a huge concern in the offseason for a lot of our fan base. We lost this. Caleb Downs is gone. Earl Little, Antonio Kite, Christian Story, Jake Pope. Who else, man? Trey Amos leaves and transfers. Kool-Aid and Terrion go to the draft. That's 9 names right there. You lost from this. We've never lost that many in the secondary in 1 year, even a draft.
Yeah, I was terrified. They're definitely terrified on what it's going to look like. I still have a little bit of worries, not because of we don't have talent, because they are very talented. I think it's youth. You're still playing with you got to have guys that understand how to play in these pressure games of the SEC. Right. It doesn't matter what schools you come from, man. When you jump in there and you playing LSU and George and all them dudes, it's a whole different deal. And I know what it's like to have those butterflies as a young one and trying to make it happen. And I don't want it to sound like I'm making a knock on what we've been doing in the past, but I'm so particular on how you line up, where you line up, what you're trying to disguise, and so it looked like there were a lot of adjustments on those where you're just leveraged better and you're able to make a better play on the ball. And our guys are even looking back for the doggone football.
It was awesome seeing Coach Saban disguise and scheme the way he schemed. But I think at some point he got so reliant on guys coming into the secondary. It was probably after the 2016, 2017 group. After they left, it was never a full back end of group of guys that all got it at the same time. Like it just started. It didn't make sense. But even in alignment, a lot of those trip sets, those trip bunt sets, I didn't like the fact that we weren't point on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not walk your third best cover guy, who's probably your star, your money, right?
Yeah.
Why not walk them down and give them an opportunity to disrupt, the point of a bunch set, or even in the wide trip sets, walk those inner guys down, and that's one thing I saw. The Husky, the Rover and the Husky, they were walking down on those slot guys. The tight end, just playing close to the line of scrimmage, and it started slow. We saw how slow it started, but that second half, them guys took it personal, and they started kind of, jumping, trusting their instincts, and that's what they're going to be able to do throughout the season. And I think it was probably, philosophy-wise, it was probably forced. They probably forced them to do that. See when they're going to step up and start playing football instead of trying to run a playbook.
Malachi Moore, man, he was bringing the heat too, bro. Right off the beginning, he was hitting, coming out of safety, coming deep. So I was loving seeing that. But they were all trying to hit at least. And so I think with the schemes that we're going to be in a better position to try to help on those plays. It's going to help maybe protect some of the deep throws and even the quicker slants. I was just looking at a stat today about Texas and how many times they throw the hitches. man. You know, and like 50% of the time. I mean, I just looked at that today. Now is we did a better job of recognizing who's coming out of the backfield.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, so tracking that running back because those wheel routes and those, arrows. I don't know what you call them in your offense, but anytime that the running back was coming out of there and heading out to the flat or trying to get inside of you or something, we were a lot better with that. I think we only busted that one time from what I could tell. So I was very happy to see either a linebacker or a safety actually picking him up.
So let's jump into it now. Let's get into the defensive back group, man. And this right here, I pulled up Zaven Brown's high school senior film. I think this is career highlights. Let me see. Yeah, this is his career highlights. So all 4 years of high school. And I kind of want to just, not just breaking down the film, but what is it about Zaven Brown? And then you can talk about whoever else in the secondary. But Zaven Brown getting the nod as one of the potential starters, even with Deshaun Jones and King Mack, Cam Howard. I think King Mack is probably going to get pushed as a safety area, that Rover Husky area. Deshaun Jones probably going to be the immediate competition for that boundary corner to give us a little bit more experience there. But Zaven Brown, what gives him the nod if we decide to go with Zaven Brown? What is it? What's your evaluation of him?
Well, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to steal this. First of all, he's playing on both sides of the ball. This right here just shows instincts and the quickness that he actually had just to run and get through traffic and find the ball, right? So I broke this film down with Coach Dave Campo. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah.
He used to be my head coach at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. And
this is what he said about him. He said Zaven Brown could play for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Right? Mm-hmm. And you see this he looked like Antonio Langham right there to me.
Yeah.
These down here where his hips and be able to stop, restart again, locate the ball. This is
it's the one right here.
This is outstanding. Look at this. I mean, we work on them drills and you're hoping that your cornerback can be able to do this, but you can jam with your left hand, turn around, jam with your right hand. Do it again, then find the ball. I mean, look at that. Switching hands.
And no holding, no grabbing, not once. Trusting your footwork, keeping your base. That's technique. That's sound. I mean, just trusting everything you've been taught.
I can't emphasize enough while you're watching this film, he's playing on both sides. So whether or not he's going to the field or playing in the boundary or something, there is different techniques that you got to be able to use. It's just awkward, one is like being left-handed and right-handed. So for him to be able to do this, be patient enough like this, chase, close his speed, get his hands in, not panic. I mean, it's really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to see him develop and progress. I do anticipate him being on the field nice, quick, and early. I know some competition going on out there, but I think he's ahead of the game.
That is the part that allowed this staff to go ahead and give him the nod to say, hey, you can just like Red Morgan. A lot of people didn't expect Red Morgan to get pushed inside to that Husky Rover position and then start. Like,
well, they trigger fast too. It's basically what you're saying. They're not waiting around to try to go make a play. They're being very, smart, or playing the tendencies a little bit. Hey, then when you get this, and they're teaching these guys is to go ahead and take your shot. Sometime we're going to let you play fast. We're going to confuse them up front a little bit. And when you see something, if you see the ball, the quarterback throw the ball, go get it. Don't hesitate and wait. So we were always kind of waiting, let them catch the ball, then tackle them kind of thing. Now I think it's going to be a whole lot more aggressive of go get the ball, create turnovers, get the ball back into the offense's hands.
So another thing I want to jump on top of here is we got a legacy on the roster, man. Got a legacy in Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. I think that was a lot of people who don't know and haven't watched this young man play, but they look at the star rating and they're like, he's only a 3-star. He only got a scholarship because of who his dad is. No,
that ain't true.
You turn on the field, you will be sadly mistaken. And this is his highlight film, his career highlights, and this is a mixture of his freshman all the way to he didn't play varsity until his sophomore year. So his sophomore year all the way up to his senior year. And
share, subscribe, because you know we keep it live, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, because you know we keep it live. You know we keep it live. Like, share,